Rigid brought you the world's first patented curved light bar. Now, it just got smaller, slimmer, and smarter with the Rigid RDS SR Series Pro. This compact single-row light bar conforms to modern looks and projects more lighting to get you further. Boasting a compact design, gentle curve, and the same proven rigid quality, the RDS SR Series Pro is a new, sleek, and sophisticated way to own the night.
Hey, doggy.
Hey everybody, welcome to Fishgistics live from Baja HQ. My name's Cameron Steele, driver of the number 16 Monster Energy BF Goodrich trophy truck. And my buddy next to me is Josh Daniel with no S, although I like to call him Josh Daniels. Most of the time the driver of the number 90 trophy truck, but you sold that thing, buddy.
Yep, no mas. You guys got it back over there.
Yeah, now it's here at the shop, at the DA part of the shop, and we're pretty excited about it. That thing's a beast, man. You guys built some horsepower into that thing.
That thing whoops some ass for sure. It's, I geeked out on it for a long time, so it's, I thought the setup was good, the engines are good, it's fast, so, and, Bobby's first race, Bobby Picoy drove it at San Felipe, but for those that don't, and, he had an impressive run, I thought. I mean,
for sure, we all did.
For his first time in that truck, and realistically, said he drove with you once at the 1000, and to finish that far off the top with a couple little pit issues or what happened, and I was impressed, man. He had a really great run, and I was pretty stoked for him.
Right on. If you guys haven't caught Fishgistics before, it's a loose format, fun talk, covering the subjects of the day. This particular subject is the Baja 500, as pre-running has commenced, I believe, for the 51st annual. Is that right, Fish?
Yeah. Sounds good.
Sounds good. If not, we're just making it up.
It is now.
Poppy's joined us here in studio, and we're hoping to have the new Moore 300 winner, Christian Serapis, a little bit later with us. And, thank you to our sponsors here at Fishgistics, KMC, and Rigid. And Josh, stoked to have you here. I see you looking at some of the notes. We can talk a little bit about the race. The Baja 500 has obviously huge heritage when it comes to off-road racing. The fans love it. The drivers love it. It's a bigger taste of Baja than all the other races that happen there other than the Baja 1000. So it's in some ways the mini Baja 1000, but sometimes I think it can be tougher than the Baja 1000.
Yeah, for sure tougher in the fact that you got to run a harder pace. I believe that for sure because 1,000 miles you gotta make the truck last. 500 it's obviously less of a distance, and so the truck's not as quick to wear out. So the guys that got that pace down, which is we could talk about that later or whatever, but one of the hardest things in trophy trucks is the pace. So you're correct, and would you venture to say? I think that I would that Baja 500 is the second biggest off-road race.
I feel pretty confident in that. There's some great off-road races that have been developing and coming along. Obviously, the Mint, the King of the Hammers T1 race, Parker. There's some other big ones, but I think that the 1,000 and the 500 are still the two biggest off-road races out there. So I think the 500, but that's if you race in Baja too. I mean,
right.
The Mint 400 probably has the biggest media and maybe the biggest entry. So it depends on how you rate it or gauge it. For me, coming off what you said, I kind of I have this Baja thing, so that's kind of where my vibe comes from. You agree?
I agree for sure with your Baja vibe, and all those facts that you definitely that you just came up with that are true. But what I think of when I think of the biggest race, I think of if you ask some random person. You tell them, hey, I drive a trophy truck or I race off-road. They go, what is that? You go, Baja 1000, Baja 500. Oh, I know what that is. If you tell them Vegas to Reno or Mint 400, which are big races for us off-roaders, do they know that? I do think along the lines you do that Mint 400 is a historic race and it's huge, but everybody knows Baja 500, Baja 1000. That knows anything about off-road racing. They at least know that, if they know something.
Sure. And I'll talk a little bit about how things have been with SCORE. Roger Norman, obviously, in the last decade, has become the figurehead for SCORE. He's brought in a group that's done, really an amazing job with the tracks and the courses. Jose G is a race director, and I think that everybody can agree that he's super fair. And he's got a very macho style when it comes to putting together race courses. He likes to throw it at us. At the San Felipe race, we went to Matomi and to the summit. And, here I think we have quite a bit of big landmark areas that we're racing in, whether it's the mountains up by Mike's, going through Melling, up the coast, the summit. We'll go over a complete course preview, but first let's talk about the curveball side-by-side starts. I mean, that's something a little bit different for Baja racing. I can't remember ever doing side-by-side starts.
I've never seen side-by-side.
Such a thing happen
on a
before?
short course, too.
Yeah, I don't know, man. That's from a driver's standpoint, from a fan standpoint. Obviously, I like to watch the side-by-side starts. They're fun to watch. But starting off at a 500-mile, Mexico race, it's and you're gonna battle the dude to get out, because
Right.
everybody wants that clean air. We want to have track position, even though it's based off time. But I've always told everybody, the guy that loses is now automatically lost by 30 seconds to every guy that wins that drag race, all the way back to, say, 10th place.
Sure.
You're already behind because your time starts the same as the guy starting side by side. So
Yep.
it's very difficult now to like, hey, my plan is this long race. I'm going to pace, or I'm going to hold traffic up, or I'm going to make some dust, or I'm going to go here or there. Ah, crap. Now I'm going to be up this guy's butt. And if I let him go away, to get my clean air, I just lost that much more time, and you know how it goes as the race develops, it just keeps stretching out further. So it's
If you guys are wondering, this is my dog. I'm her therapy human, and sometimes she just needs me. So she wanted to come in and get on the show, but
I like the fact that
maybe she needs some water or
It's
something.
mostly a therapy dog, but this dog's got a therapy human.
Yeah, she needs it. Anyway, the side-by-side starts are going to be something that's going to be very interesting.
What's your feeling on it? Are you stoked on it, or are you over it?
I'm a short course racer, so from that standpoint, I like it. One thing I don't like is I would be super stoked if I was starting next to Luke McMillan, which is originally kind of how we thought it would go, but then we heard that Andy will start by himself.
Yep.
And then we'll have second and third together, which would be Ryan and Dan.
So you got to start with your teammate.
I got to start next to my teammate. So I was all geared up, ready to smash Luke in the first corner, no problem. I'm sure Mark would have had something to say about it, but if I could have, had a little fun with Luke, it would have been fun. But
Yeah.
now that I'm with my race partner, it's not a whole lot of fun. So we'll see what happens. I have a feeling since we race short course against each other, there's going to be a hell of a short course race going out of the infield. As long as we don't damage the trucks, I think
Yeah.
it should be okay. But
Are you going to go for it, or are you guys playing rock, paper, scissors to see who gets to go first?
we've just been giving each other a hard time about it, so we haven't really had that discussion.
Yeah.
Bobby's been down pre-running, and I'm getting ready to go down for 8 days or whatever. So the excitement is there. Do I like it? I like it in most cases. For the Baja 1000 or Baja 500, I don't think I'm really that big a fan of it because of what we're doing, the long racing and long form race. It kind of goes along the lines of qualifying at a Vegas short course track for the Baja 1000. I like it, but I don't know if it totally fits. I understand. Score's trying something different. I support them. So I'm not going to poo-poo it and say I hate it.
Right.
My opinion is I kind of like the fact that you don't have to go all keyed up right out of the gate, even though the pace is going to be pretty furious with the Baja 500.
Yeah.
But now you're going to be super spooled up. You got side-by-side battling. And, again, it's great for the fan. Is it exactly what the racers want? I'm not sure. I'm sure it's exactly what Andy wants at this point.
For sure. Well, it looks like you at least got a minute apart. We've raced some where they try to put you 30 seconds. I want to say that I've been to a race where it's side by side every 15 seconds, and that's just ridiculous. So
Yeah, I think
at least
that
you got a minute to try to get some space.
We're going to talk about the pairings a little bit later. First, we're going to talk about the actual race, but maybe even more exciting than myself and Bobby side by side is the Robbie Gordon Bryce Menzies pairing side
Battle
by
of the
side.
Sevens.
That's the Battle of the Sevens, and
Well, I got to tell you, I know that they're going to do some picks later and things like that, but if Bryce has that all-wheel drive truck,
yeah.
I think Robbie Gordon's one of the baddest ass dudes ever to even step in a race car. But Bryce is too.
Four-wheel drive, yeah. Bryce is a short course driver.
Yeah.
Currently, Bryce has the four-wheel drive. And
Yeah,
we'll talk more
that's
about it.
hard
Let's
to
not
beat,
give
yeah.
away our thoughts on that right now. But
Okay.
right now, let's talk about this year's Baja 500. For those of you that have been pre-running, I'm sure you might have some some fun data if you want to throw it in.
Pull up the map.
Pull up the map right now. I'll stop looking over at you, Fish. You're behind me, so now
I know it's a
getting
little
the
different,
profile.
different
It's a little
setup
different
today.
Setup.
There we go.
And so there's a look at the. This is the download from Score, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep, straight from the Score website.
Huge change in starting at the Estero Beach Hotel. That part of the course has not been released yet, but
Yeah, that gets released, I think, in a couple days.
once upon a time, the Best in the Desert series raced out of Estero and into the mountains. And does it show exactly where the link up is on the race course?
It doesn't show, but I believe it's right around here.
Okay.
Right about mile, well, let's see, 45, 40, we go back.
I think it's over
Right
here.
there,
Yeah.
there it is.
So the first thing I can tell you after talking to Jose G is there's been some tractor work done in the European mountains. I guess there was some big rain ruts and some tough stuff to get through. And it sounds like they went out and tractored it, or they're going to tractor it. Now remember, everybody, this show is opinion-based and not everything is factual. We've tried to get you as much information as we can, but this is for fun. You need to do your own planning, your own logistics, and of course, make your own race happen. So don't do off of what we're saying, but it looks like here the junction is going to be at these two VCP points. Josh, you've raced out here in the middle of these mountains in Europan. I mean, this is a place with some not sheer sides, but some definitely, you're racing on the top of the mountains, and there's some drop-aways all over the place.
Yeah, there's some drop-aways. You know what gets bad in there is that silt, and that's one of the things I'm thinking about off the start here with these guys. It's going to be, you're dropping right into that. Are we calling it Europan or Uruapan?
Yeah, pretty much, just north of it. I think, there.
Yeah.
Uruapan, the right way, I guess, but nobody calls it that. The gringo way is a Europan. And
you're calling me out already, Josh. We just started.
Well, but yeah, like I said, I think the silt's going to get gnarly and stuff through there. It's fun, but it's tight and technical, So the one thing going back to that side-by-side start that I don't like is you drop into a single track, tight technical section.
Right on someone, in theory.
Dude, it's hard. It is hard, and then it becomes dangerous. That's where you got to really have some really great patience, So the guys that are going to be successful through there are going to have it in their brain like, hey, it's 500 miles. I'll have an opportunity somewhere to get whoever's in front of me. And you can't force the opportunity right there, in my opinion. There are a couple little lines and stuff you could drop down and things, but who knows where VCP is at or any of that other stuff.
For sure.
The start is different than what everyone's been running for so long. The start's been the same for so long. I mean, you guys probably know the start with your eyes closed just about because you ran it so many times. No one's run this yet.
Yeah.
So it's that kind of, I guess it kind of levels the playing field to a certain extent.
Now, coming back into town, I know we're going to get there at some point, but are they going to run backwards where we're going out?
So right there, you can see VCP 10 is also VCP 137.
Okay, so that is so what you're
left,
saying, I see.
And then this road, we can see the road right here. They just haven't marked it yet. So you can see this road.
Yeah.
That's going to be the road to and from Estero.
Okay.
So if you're good, you could just go on the map, go on Google Maps yourself, and you can follow the road all the way back to Estero
I already see
Beach.
a cheater line right there.
Yeah. There's just not the VCPs on here yet, so.
So there's a lot of talk about VCPs. For those of you that don't know, virtual checkpoint. And the note here from Fish says that VCPs are 120 feet radius around. You have to be within that distance to the VCP. I've been saying 110, but
That was what it said on the Score site.
No, I hear you. And I know sometimes there are some specialty VCPs as well. So those of you out there that are planning on racing, make sure you guys dig in and figure out where they are. So Josh talked about this. We're racing through the backside of the farms. Growing up, we raced right through the middle where you see the big wash there outside of Europan. Now we're racing through the hills. You can see the multiple lines there. This image is pretty fresh. It looks like it's from 2017, but you can see the multiple lines that have developed in the mountains there. But this is some tough stuff, and there really is a couple really treacherous spots, especially in this direction. That downhill hard left, I think the one you're looking at right here, is interesting, and that there's an interesting placement of VCP 13 before that actually, because of those two lines. You can see it off to the right side there. But yeah, I'm just doing some more virtual pre-running as we take a look.
Yeah, that's what's cool about Google Earth. You can go on here and you can see all the different lines ahead of time. So you're going to have to make this left right here after VCP 12. You don't want to go down this way. That might be an easy one to miss.
For sure.
Yeah, I wanted to touch on something, and I don't want to get too far off track of but just to kind of add a little bit of conversation in here. What do you said that we used to run down in that wash and this and that, but what is the state of racing in Mexico now? From what I've seen, and I want your opinion on it, we've seen a lot more of the land almost getting taken back. Is that fair to say? I think some of the farmers are like, hey, you ain't going through here anymore. Or,
I don't totally agree that that's the case. I think that in some cases it's probably true. I think that there's a couple things at play here. Yes, we're trying to avoid farmers' fields and property and land and stuff like that. But I also think that by score going off on some of these sections that are not used by the public, not used by the ranchers, not running by the fields, it causes less need to regrade, replow, yet less permissions or less strenuous permissions, less speed zones. So I think that, just for a perfect example, San Felipe has the whole section that runs next to Morelia Road.
Right. We
ran down Morelia Road for decades, right? But it constantly tore up that road. Now we're running off to the side, and no one cares they were out there.
Yeah.
And there is no regrading, and it is one giant whoop section. It's just developing and becoming worse and worse. And I think that's kind of where some of the score racing is going. It's getting harder, but not just because they're trying to make it harder. It's getting harder because they're getting off those traditional graded roads.
Yeah, well, that makes perfect sense, and kudos to Score for trying to develop those kinds of things. And also, when you're pre-running, if you're off that graded road, that well-used road, that's a massive safety factor because most of us that have been down there for a long time pre-running have had some kind of issue with the local traffic or something,
And definitely something to remember. Remember, the roads are all, the roads are not made to go nowhere. The roads have people on them. You got to take it easy. Be safe. Drive what you can see. And you can see here we're getting through the first part of the race course.
Pretty good mountains through here. Looks like.
Yep, this is stuff that we've raced before, and getting over towards, what would be called the Tres Hermanos area, more or less. But this might be a route we've never raced before here. Taking a look at it, it's going to be some of the same, but then the crossover might be a little bit different. And just taking a look at it.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to see on a lot of that stuff.
It's hard to really tell, but that's where the road from Ojos Negros comes in that area.
Yeah, because there's where we normally jump over up there towards the top of the screen. Yeah.
Yep. So some of the stuff that we've raced in combination from a number of races, maybe a little bit of new connector roads, and then headed out through here. This is all this stuff can be. I like to say that it's rough. It's got some big rocks in it. There's some giant gotcha holes in there. Be very careful. You see Score has a danger marker in there. There will be more than one danger on my GPS markings in there. There's some gigantic car swallowing holes. Be very careful. Taking you back through some of the back ranchos out here, you can see it's really amazing to be able to see from Google Earth how big the ranchos are and what they're doing out there. So remember, someone's going out to work at that ranch, so just be careful on those roads. There is a spot there where there's some cattle guards you got to watch out for too, because the post, it's pretty narrow between those cattle guards in that area.
Yeah, it says you got to be 40 feet.
Yeah, I see VCP A, B, and C. So what is that all about? A, B, and C.
I'll tell you what this is all about. I haven't been down there, but basically they're getting you off the graded road there. So they're trying to keep you from, as I was just talking about, don't tear up the graded road. You're going up. There's a couple different ways out of this area. It looks like you make a turn into one of the small washes, and then you're going to go to these tighter tolerance VCPs, new run-through area there. There's probably some kind of local track in there that they've used to make a different way through there.
Yeah, so I've noticed, a few of the last times I've raced Baja, a lot of new track, and a lot of it gets bushwhacked. So a lot of times I'll go run something like that and go, boy, I'm not even going to come here until like the last few days of pre-running because all this is going to change. You guys are going to burn this in different.
Yep.
Luke and Dan are going to be out there poking around in the bushes looking for different lines and stuff. So, the guys that are really doing a lot of good homework. So that's
This is one of my favorite spots, race mile 70 area and up through these hills here. I really love this spot. This is a great part that I love to race on. It's really tight. It's technical. There's not any other line, so to speak.
So what are we talking right here then? Is just for the guys at home that maybe don't know? Are we looking at I guess that'd be west of Valley T?
We're north of Valley T. We're west of K77.
Yeah, this is
traditional
K77
area.
right here.
Okay, that's 77. Okay, so I'm way
on the
off already.
highway.
So.
Yeah, so this is an area. This goes between those really narrow rock section up in there, and there's some really tricky turns in there. You got to be super careful. But I love when you make that turn down there at VCP 23, which a lot of times or sometimes we're on that graded road. We're not this time, and you get up into this section, and it's just it's great, just tight back and forth racing, and you can't really see a lot around you. It's just bushes that are as high as a truck or vehicle, and be careful in there. You guys, there's some real big rocks, and then you get into some really gnarly tree sections as you come back to the highway. That's something you got to be careful of. There's some kind of like not really drop away turns, but your momentum is to the outside as you're coming towards K77 if you haven't raced on there, and it's something that can really catch you off guard. So just be careful. You're going to jump on the highway. That's a speed zone, and you can see SCORE has it delineated as a 37-mile-an-hour speed zone. If you guys haven't been paying attention recently, make sure that you're really careful in the speed zones, and you know from SCORE how your speed zone is going to end and where it's going to end. You can't just rely on your tracker. You can't just rely on the waypoint. You got to make sure that you understand where that is, and SCORE has been really stringent about that. And this is an interesting little zone here coming off and into this area here. Now, these are all different combinations that they can use at different races. I'm pretty sure this is all things that we have seen in the past, but it looks like maybe a few miles, so I shouldn't say all, but maybe a few miles of this is something we have not seen before. But it's interesting to see SCORE moving it around out there so that there's more mileage in this area outside of Independencia, which should be the area that's right by the highway here.
Yeah, that's good too. A lot of that stuff in there. It's very hard to see from Google Earth, but a lot of it has been just so hammered. It's nice when you can get off some of that stuff, and those tight turns with all those big bumps and stuff are.
And you can see there, that's Independencia.
That's that concrete road. So I just want to give a warning to everybody out there. That concrete road right there, right before. Yep. So that's used by the military. There's a big military camp at the very end of that, and what a lot of people don't realize is that course comes over that. One time I was pre-running, and it sneaks up on you. You kind of pop out of the bushes, and you're right across it. And I went across it one time, and I went, whoa, that was quick. And nobody's really ever out there, Yeah, the very next time I went through there, I go, I'm going to stop at that road next time.
Traffic.
And the big, giant military trucks that have about 20 dudes in the back hanging on, right in front of my pre-runner.
Wow.
And I was driving a buggy, and for sure, I'd probably be dead if I didn't stop. So I'm just saying,
for pre-running especially, be
for
careful.
Pre-running,
right here.
please, guys, watch that, because those guys they're not expecting you out there either. They're just hauling ass up that road, and they're going to their camp or whatever they're doing. It looks like you cross it twice, so they know we're out there, but they don't. The military they're on their own agenda. You got to be aware of theirs, not vice versa.
Not just that, but you got to be aware of the people that live in the
Everything.
ranchos, and they're aware of the races there, but they're not aware that you're going across the highway. So I think just massive respect to the locals. Take it easy. Don't overdrive your pre-run.
Pre-running, not pre-racing.
Right. I mean, just be very respectful. This area out and around this hill here. I can't remember when we did this, but
that's kind of new, I think.
It's about 6 or 7 years ago. We did run back there, and it's a cool, little bit different look out there. And then you can see it gets down to some old farm fields down there, but I don't know how much activity is going on out there. Getting through race mile 105 through VCP 40, you can see we're coming in different angles, different looks at coming in and intersecting the race courses in different ways. So it's something new. Be careful. Check it out before you get too speedy out there. Of course, watch out for traffic. This is where
they're not even.
It doesn't come back.
It doesn't even come back down, huh?
It does not. No.
Yep.
So let's talk about some pit strategy since we're going on through here. You're at race mile 115, so you probably don't have a a scheduled pit stop yet, but you're coming up here to the summit, right? And you're 125 in and up and over.
There's
Talk about strategy, man. Are tires going to be an issue going over that summit?
For sure. Well, I think
fuel.
Fuel too. I mean, there's a lot of different classes that race here at SCORE, and everybody needs to figure out what their strategy is going to be. And there's not really, I mean,
getting back there is not fun.
Easy access after check one, which I believe.
Yeah, I was gonna say right down there.
I'm not.
Check one's right
I'm not
here.
seeing exactly looking at it. I'm not sure how the access works for that. There has been difficulty accessing that area of check one in the recent times from Reforma. There's a lot more fields out there than there used to be, and fences. Remember, respect the farmers, respect their gates and fences.
Well, I think you and I used to
there's
pit when
only
I
a couple
drove with
roads.
you. Wasn't it right around there before you go up and over the summit? Or we didn't have maybe a scheduled pit stop, but didn't we have guys out there?
We
It
did.
was
We
right
had guys
around there?
that were planted that weren't mobile. So just be aware. No backwards on the race course. Everybody's got to have a good strategy. This is on the way. This is the side hill. So once you leave check one in that Nuevo Junction area, it's traditional name of that area, you'll head up side hill from VCP 45, and this takes you up towards the summit. And there's some tricky stuff in there, man. There's some rocks and some definitely some interesting things to take a look at. I do notice you can see there that the two different pictures from the
Google
space
Earth.
from Google Earth. Not a lot of VCPs, but obviously they're doing a job
Yeah,
to keep you right on the race course.
Well, where do you
Zoom
go
in there at
there,
race
though?
mile 46. So
VCP 46.
yeah, I'm sorry, VCP 46. So
A lot of tight, twisty back and forth, it looks like.
yeah, there's a lot of tight twisties there right before that, and then you can see the
Another line
VCP
here.
on the left line.
Yeah, they don't want you in this line, I guess.
Or maybe, I don't know, who knows what it looks like too. I mean, there has been rain. There's a lot of big rocks out there. Things
Yeah.
could have moved around, but
Yeah.
you can see that VCP out there on that left line. And I've never actually seen that big cut around.
It looks like they just kind of made a line around it. You might be right. This might be impassable over here.
Yeah. Well, where VCP 46 is, I believe, that was also the race course for San Felipe 250. Remember, we just raced over this for San Felipe. The summit's a treacherous area because of its remoteness. So again, planning is key. And on the other side, traditionally the desert's very warm.
Let's talk about a couple of years ago. Was it 2 years ago, the 500, where we had some?
I think it was 3 years ago.
Yeah, some
But
record-setting heat and stuff. So if any of that's occurring anytime soon,
I did hear a few people that just went over this a couple days ago, and they said it was pretty easy, pretty much just going over it, no big deal. So not too. And once you get to the top, you just cruise down the back.
as long as you don't
Beautiful-
mind, as
beautiful
long as you don't
views.
mind steep drop-offs
Yeah.
on the sides
Yeah.
or stuff
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
That's something to just take it easy
You're
coming
not
down the
afraid
summit.
of pure death.
Yeah, and then that drops you down, leaving the summit. It was a couple years since I had raced over it, and it was cool to go back. But again, you guys got to make sure you have a good plan up there. It's very remote. There's nobody out there. There's no ranchos. There's no support, so to speak. Then race mile, you start going down the wash to race mile 130.
Right around here, I think is where Andy rolled at the San Felipe race.
It was a little bit further that way.
Yeah.
But there is a giant hole, or a couple of giant holes out there between 130 and 135. So be real careful. Or maybe it's a little further down.
Section over there.
It's a little further down actually that way. So that's where you come up out of the wash and start zigzagging across. And
So there's quite a few wash crosses.
yeah,
it
there's
looks like
some
through
big
here.
holes out there, you guys. Just be really careful. We're not exactly sure what mile it was where Andy crashed, but he wasn't. He was not
fast over there.
Sure. He wasn't the only one that crashed. So there is at least one hole that will fit the whole vehicle in it. So be very, very cautious as you head towards Cajabuzo Junction, another legendary name in off-road racing. This is basically at the bottom of Laguna Salada area. You'll be racing across this section right here. It changes consistency. Obviously, you run down out of the mountain from the summit where it's real rocky, and there's some more vertical. Then you get down alongside of it. There's tons of rocks. You start getting to Cajabuzo. It's more of a flat desert, but there's still a lot of rocks out there. And there are some big holes out there. It's really deceiving. It can look very quick. And you'll come along, and all of a sudden there's just a giant hole there. So heads up. Then you come down to race mile 165. That really comes to the backside of the Laguna Salada. If you open up that shot fish, they'll be able to see the whole dry lake up above there. And that's kind of that whole area is known as, Laguna Salada. So please forgive me, anybody that's real detail orientated when we're talking about different areas there. That's just kind of that whole area is how we call that. You're going to make a right. This is the same, I believe we did at San Felipe. I could be wrong, but it looks like it.
So on this map here, let's point out where like the power station or wherever that is.
It's further down. So you can see here there's a place called Tres Pozos, which means 3 wells, if loosely translated. And
a picture of it.
There we go.
Oh, there you go.
And so you race around the outside here, and there's some zigzagging in there. You can see all the VCPs that scorers added in there to keep everybody on the course. That's a look from the lake bed up towards the mountains. There's some big elevation up there, up near the summit. And you can see here at race mile 180, you come real close to the other course. And again, I haven't been on it yet this year. I'm getting ready to go actually tomorrow morning. But it gets really close together. Lots of sand, some sand whips, some multiple lines, definitely some rocks out there and a couple holes. It brings you right back up here to this is the Highway 5 that goes to San Felipe from Mexicali.
This is where the sportsman cars are going to get off and jump on the highway.
Yep, reading your notes here, Fish. There. What? Say it again for everybody.
185, I believe. Yep, 185. So right here, they basically just jump on the highway, go straight, and then they have a 60-mile-an-hour speed limit all the way down to mile 231 down on the bottom. So they're going to skip this whole next section.
They'll junction in back into the other highway back towards Ensenada.
Now, why do you think they well, I guess if they're going to pick...
It's pretty rough through there, and it gets a little hot. And, yeah, they're trying to get them to finish. It's for sportsmen classes, Class 9 and Class 11.
So Cam, right here...
to get to the finish.
Right where he had that VCP 60, is it right above there's the access road that we historically come in on?
Yeah,
to Laguna Salada, right before the cut where
just
the sand
to the
dunes
north.
are?
Yes, if you go just a little bit north there.
Yeah.
Then those are the sand dunes on the east side of the highway. That's now a protected area in the biosphere, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, I'm just trying to throw questions.
You can open up. You can open up the picture a little bit. That's the road there that Josh is talking about that goes out onto Laguna.
So you guys that have been, I'm trying to poise a little bit for the guys at home that maybe are like, oh, where is this? So if you've been down to San Felipe and you come to those sand dunes, if you look to the right, there's a long road that goes out on that dry lake bed. For pit crews and everything else, that's where that is right there.
You see right there.
Yep. And
that goes all the way out.
Yeah, a lot of guys, depending on which way they run the race, they'll pit out there or whatever. But it's fast down through there.
Yeah, so
real fast stuff.
Getting back to the race course, this is a section that I believe we had only used at San Felipe this last year. I had not seen this used before. It could have been used in other race series like Code or Record. And it's a pretty interesting, you go along the highway there, jump back out in this wash, and then at VCP 61 you start making the turn back to get out by the sand dunes below Laguna Salada.
Your navigator just commented and said it's the same course as San Felipe. There you go.
Cody.
Yep.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, so I was pretty sure, but, I don't want to say it's exact because maybe there's some differences there. But Cody chiming in, expert navigator. That's going to get you to VCP 65, and you're southbound and down. This is a big open area on the bottom part of the not part of the dry lake bed, but it is an open part that heads down past. Josh, you were talking about the pump station, which would be above somewhere right around VCP 66. There should be a pump station in there, or there's some roads in there. It's hard to see on this map. This gets into this wash where there's a lot of rocks, big sand whoops.
Pop up on that mesa right there, correct?
Yep.
That little mesa.
You
jump out of that wash and
go left at VCP 67, which has been one of traditionally the roughest 2 miles of Baja at times because it's really hard dirt and it's got a lot of rocks and it'd
be basically like somebody made whoops in the street.
That's what it feels like.
Yeah, it does. It's just,
if I'm not mistaken on my location. So then that's going to head back through the washes and canyons down through here. Sometimes I refer to this right here. If you zoom in at 69, I think there's areas somewhere in this area is a really tight little rock pass.
Looks like right here, maybe.
It's down below. It's a little bit higher. I call it. I've called it the Baby Summit. There's only about 30 feet of like tight rocks. But,
Yeah.
You know, because there's the summit, the mini summit.
Doesn't
the
it
baby
actually
summit.
have a paint on it that says Mini Summit?
Maybe.
I think with like an arrow that points up through there.
Yeah, I'm not sure. We actually, there is no real official designation for any of that. So it's fun just to see that people call it different names.
Yeah, I actually found one time one of those monuments. You explained what they were, the little grading surveyor pins.
survey
Just
pins.
found it out in the middle of there. I'm like, what the?
Yeah, it's crazy where you find that stuff. Then out into these washes, there's multiple lines out here. Be careful where they intersect. Watch out for other pre-runners, and when you're racing, watch out for each other out there. And this brings you back down towards the area known as El Chinero, and VCP 70 puts you back into some cross-grain desert as you cross through here. This is a more traditional racing section, if I'm not mistaken, as we get back to what's known as the Borrego Road Crossing. And you can
be a
see
lot of pits here.
Yeah, famous right there about where you're at, where it says Borrego. That's the famous.
that's
The
the
jump that's in every video ever.
Right.
every racing video ever.
I always take it easy there, man. There's so many people around there.
You
it's
look
an
at that.
off-camber jump,
It's off
too.
camber in
Yeah.
a turn, and it's packed with people. And dudes that send it through there, man. I'm like, and
Sketchy.
I'm
Definitely sketchy.
I guess you could say I have a reputation of being a little bit of a maniac,
So you
and
can see
I
this
don't
is,
even go crazy through there. So I'm like,
It says end shortcut. So this is where the sportsmen are going to be coming down on the highway right here.
Copy.
And then they'll jump back on the race course.
do you think
here.
the military is going to check their cars when they got to go through the point?
Well,
I don't know. I think on race day they have a lane open for
You'd
them.
think,
probably.
right?
Yeah, you would think. The other question is, do they pass anybody, you think, in other classes when they do that? Because remember, they get to go on the highway. They got to go 60 miles an hour. But depending on where they were, are they going to pass someone that's in it,
They might,
Anything's
man, but I got to
possible.
tell you, after they cross the summit and you're a sportsman and you're starting last,
You're pretty
dude,
far back, probably.
You're pretty
right?
far back.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
there's no way. I mean, trophy trucks are going to be on the beach by
Yeah,
that time.
they're
you know,
gone, yeah.
And you can see that Scores designated the end shortcut there. That's
BFG pit.
BFG Pit 2. I didn't see where BFG Pit 1 was.
So what are we looking at for mileage here? We obviously see
This
a
is
VSP.
230.
Okay.
Yep, there's 235.
There's 235. All right,
Yeah.
cool.
So this is all looking at it.
That's
This
one of
is-
my favorite sections.
Yeah.
Through Borrego right there. And I like it because I like that kind of burned in wash, fast. There's some bumps in there, depending on which line you choose. But I also like, well, they do have VCP stuffed in there. But I do like the fact that you can pick some alternate lines, so passing will be good in this area. And when I used to drive with UCAM, I remember one time I probably spent 3 days just in that section. Just
Yeah.
back and forth and back and forth.
If you're in the wrong line through here, it's pretty rough.
Well, the thing is, like, the way that, maybe I'm giving up my secrets here, or maybe they're not secrets, but, you got to think that on race day, if I'm right up behind Cameron, well, and I know how he pre-runs. I know that he knows everything down there for the most part. I got to imagine he's on the good line, right? So I've also got to pick alternative lines and stuff like that. And the off chance that he makes a mistake. This happened at the 1,000 with 2 other guys. Off chance that he makes a mistake and follows a guy that's significantly slower. Where am I going to be able to pass? Now I have an opportunity. So that wash right there affords a lot of those opportunities for you if you do your homework and pick all the lines to put together. But, man, you got to spend a lot of time knowing how to put them together. But it's fun, and it's fast, and, that's one of my favorite spots.
Before race mile 240 there, you can see we come up alongside Highway 3, which is the highway that comes from Highway 5 to Ensenada. Just a word to all the chase crews and stuff. Don't, paralleling your vehicle and filming and not paying attention to what's going on, it can be dangerous. You guys just be really, really cautious and just be aware of all the, non-racers on the highway and pay attention to what you're doing. And also pay attention because there are some giant holes alongside this highway in certain spots. And you can see how the water moves from the mountains down in towards Laguna Diablo or the Diablo Dry Lake. So you're going across grain in here. So, going through this area, just beware there, especially down here as you get closer to the junction.
They're going on the other side of the road?
We're
Jumps on the road.
Getting on the road.
Okay.
Getting on the road. So speed zone starts here.
And a point on what you just said, Cam, they're trying to film and do all that. First off, the trucks are going 100, and then there's people just stacked there watching, so it's super dangerous trying to do anything like that, guys.
Yep.
So, yeah, I agree with Cam, guys. Just please.
On the highway, no racing on the highway, of course, speed zone. Taking a look here, we're going to drop back into the San Matias Wash where it says end speed zone there just after race mile 250, if I'm not mistaken.
Super fun.
And this is a great old school part of the Baja racing history. I can remember racing in this wash back when I was a little kid, and it's just there's a couple little lines in there, like just different lines, and there's beware, there's a lot of rocks.
Yeah, but
there.
it's fun.
Yeah.
That's the best way I can describe it. It's not a very long section. It's just really fun.
Yeah, be safe coming back onto the highway.
Probably a lot of pits right here in this section too. A lot of people will be
For
pitting
sure.
in San Mateos.
I'm guessing.
That mileage too. Yeah, maybe.
This is San Matias. Again, be real careful getting on the highway. There will be a hard left turn at the end speed zone there.
And right there is where you can haul ass.
That is the road, and that's a good look at it right there.
There you
That
go.
is the road to Mike's Sky Rancho.
So those guys that don't know where this is, that's where that's one of the few spots, one of the many spots that you'd be able to hold that thing to the floor for about a few miles.
Be careful. It looks like, as you can see, expect the unexpected.
I've seen those guys out there gathering that wood up for. I don't know where they're going with
and
it.
There is
Fence
a
post or something.
new-ish cattle guard when it starts making those turns after leaving the highway.
Yeah, didn't they blade like a new road in here or something? Kind of like a little
There's definitely
outcropping or something.
Yeah, there's a cattle guard that's kind of in a really weird position. I don't know.
Yeah.
Just be careful in there, especially pre-running and
The road's
racing.
fast,
yeah,
too,
road's
yeah.
fast. Be careful. You make the right. You stay on the Mike's Road. It takes you up through race mile 265. Starts to get more and more technical as you head towards Mike's Sky Ranch. You can see crossing the river there and starting to head up towards 270. Remember when you're pre-running too that people might be staying at Mike's Sky Ranch. They might be coming down the mountain.
Definitely, they are, yeah.
Yeah. So
And locals.
Yeah,
Locals are on that road all the time.
be really, really careful. This area here, there's an intersection there. You can see the triangle. That there is local traffic in there. Heads up, or can be local traffic as you start heading towards Mike's. And this, like I said, if someone's up at Mike's, this would be really a lot of two-way traffic possibilities. So just be really, really careful.
A lot of
slippery
blind corners you can
Yeah,
see.
it gets slippery
Yeah.
up here too. We actually helped a team that was from Europe, had slid a corner and caught traction, went up on the side, flipped over, and we helped them out pre-running one time. And there's the VCP coming into the legendary Mike's Sky Ranch.
It's one of my favorite places in the world.
Yeah, I'm a big fan. I love the time we get to spend there when there is time. And,
One of my favorite things there, just to get off track a little, is at night. You've never seen the sky like that.
You're not off track, buddy.
That's,
There's no light. There's no light pollution.
No light
up there.
pollution, and you're I don't know what elevation we are there, enough to get snow in the middle of a desert, but it's fabulous. I mean, you see all the just like the nebulas and I mean, it's insane.
Yeah, it's incredible. We've had some great times up there. We did some fundraisers, the dress parties we've done. We a lot of memories there with Pistol Pete, of course. We'll miss him as we race through there. And then we're going to go out on one of the most treacherous feeling roads leaving Mike's. Eventually we'll get up and we'll zigzag up on top of the hill, but there is definitely some exposure on the right side, so heads up.
So are they running any by Simpsons there or any of that?
It runs
No?
across. It's going to run out the side towards Simpsons.
Okay, well at least it's not too bad. When they run it back around and all the way back,
Back here
oh
it's worse.
man, that's
I don't
That is
even
slow,
remember the
treacherous.
last time they've done that. That's been a long time since they've
Yeah.
been back there.
Yeah, this is downhill coming this way mostly, right? Too. This isn't uphill necessarily that much.
Yeah, you climb for a while coming out of Mike's, and then there will be some downhill for
yeah.
sure.
Is that cut-in road right behind Mike's when you go like almost through the parking lot
Yeah.
off to the right and you go around?
no, the one you go out on, yeah.
up to 280. Yeah, that's pretty. That's got some. You don't want to be off there anywhere either. 'cause
No,
that's straight down too.
whole
There is.
section.
There's actually a slight left on there that's like so hair raising, even at 2 miles an hour. It's just like This section here, you start running down towards down the canyon. There's some really sketchy stuff in there. We actually vapor locked one time going the other way. There's a good picture. We went through there on our trail emissions trip a couple years ago, and you can see like Baja or Volkswagens, like Class 11 style, getting through there, and stacking rocks is a part of it. There's a pretty treacherous downhill in there. I was saying we vapor locked there, going up the hill, and as we vapor locked, we hit a rock that was the size of a Volkswagen. It just kind of edged, like you couldn't turn the car because it stopped, and it started edging over, hits the rock with the sidewall, turns the wheel really fast, and blows the power steering pump. Cody and I were there for a good hour and a half plus.
Was that in the truck?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And thanks to Tisco and some of the other teams that dropped some fluids for us out of their helicopter, man. It was gnarly. That's a good look at the Ranchero up there at El Coyote. Just a really cool place. Nice and slow through El Coyote, you guys, and any rancho. But if you want, when you get to El Coyote, I think they're still selling drinks, and you might be able to get lunch up there. You can find them online and send them a message.
Doesn't look like it turns towards Melling. It just goes.
It does not. It goes out the backside. Does not. Doesn't take this road out to the main road. So if you did go out that way, you'd get to the San Pedro Martir Highway.
Well, I'm just thinking if maybe guys are pre-running and they want some nice spots to stay, or something. They got some good spots down there.
And this takes us through the back of the mountains. We haven't done this in a couple years, but this is it's hard. It's one line. It's down in the canyon, and then it's got some of that really reddish dust.
Now, do you like racing on that?
I'm a fan of this area. I like it. It's.
I know you're a fan of the area. I like the area, but do you like racing on it? I'm going to throw my 2 cents in. I do not. But it's probably no surprise. I like,
not a lot of passing.
I like going. Go.
I think that what's interesting.
It's a lot of creeping around in
What's
there.
interesting that made us a great pairing, Josh, as teammates, is that you really, really like the fast and you excel at the fast, and I really, really like the technical.
Yeah.
And so together we made a great team. You can see it looks like, and I'm not sure because I haven't been up there, it looks like a little bit of a different drop in to the valley in the back here. I would have to dig in a little harder on Google Earth here, but it looks like there's a little bit of a different route.
Go this way, huh?
Yeah, I'm not totally certain, but it seems like there might be a little bit of something different there, but it's different for a lot of people because we haven't been back there in a while. And again, I have not pre-ran the course. We're giving you information just from what we know. Going down alongside 310 in there, beware. There's lots of farms. Watch out for gates. You need to open and shut. And then big fast road makes a hard left, and be really careful because that is a hard left.
This one right here.
Yep. And that's going to take you back towards, as you go around the outside of that field, it's going to take you back towards the San Pedro Martir Highway again. And we're actually going to get on the highway, and that's going to turn into
speed zone right here.
Speed zone, yep. And it's a short speed zone.
Just a little bit.
Or San Telmo Road, they call it. I've been calling it San Pedro Martir Road because it goes up to San Pedro Martir, one of the 4 national parks on the Baja Peninsula. But that's pavement you get on for a short amount of time. And then this is I just always call this road the road behind San Quintin. It's like, or behind Villa Zaragoza. It's like this back canyon that runs along this area. There's a lot of farms out here. Heads up, we're going to run down through some farms, some really gracious people that live out there that have granted access, obviously, to go through there. But just when you're pre-running nice and slow through their farms and, try not to put tracks where you're not supposed to put tracks.
And make your way on down to the most beautiful race course you'll ever.
Yeah, this is crazy.
Driving off road on.
This is a really great spot.
I
love this where that you see the danger. You're on a VCP 97, if I'm not mistaken. You make a turn onto what looks like a pretty good graded road, and that's going to take you to this right turn into a hard left that drops you into this canyon. And this canyon, I want to say the first time I saw this canyon was back around 2005, and it's definitely got some tough stuff. Big rocks.
Is this downhill or is this flat?
This is downhill. This is downhill, yeah. You're dropping into the wash, in the Santo Domingo wash. If you go all the way down, you'll see that it drops over the side of the riverbed right into the wash there.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
And so it dumps out. It's pretty cool to see. That whole area is really pretty spectacular.
Have you been to that mission right there? Mission de Santo Domingo?
I have been there, so it's that's part of our Trail of Missions trip a couple times.
Now, is this wash fairly easy, or is there water in this wash right now, or what do you think?
I'm going to say there is probably no water in the wash. I have, unless there's a storm, I haven't really seen any standing water in there. But, yeah, I've been back to the mission ruins there. There's not a lot there, but there is some stuff to see. If you do go back there, be really careful on that ranch road there. The people that live in there, it's very, very slow and very dusty. This wash has some tricky stuff in it down here. If you take a look down here by VCP 100, there's lots of different routes, so you got to make sure you get to your VCP. And there's a lot of routes
So you
that
can get
end
creative in there a little bit.
Well, there's a lot of stuff that ends in big rocks. Like
Yeah,
the rocks
a lot of
are
little
pushed off to
tricks.
the side.
Yeah, so if you do a poor job pre-running, then you got a bunch of little tricky turns and stuff in there that there's nothing worse than that when you're running and you're like, oh, you hop on a different line and you're like, it dead ends. You just go, oh no, how much time did I just waste?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then it gets close to the farms again. So be careful when you guys are pre-running here. This looks like there's a lot of activity in this area, possibly. It actually comes down
Definitely.
along the
And
farms.
there's an old flying resort over there that's not active anymore that allegedly a bunch of the movie stars used to go out there and visit on the south side of the wash. But you'll see you come down through the wash, and talking to Jose G at SCORE, they did a little bit of work here. I said there isn't standing water, but there was quite a bit of mud I heard in this area. And it has been raining, so you could see quite some mud, and maybe we'll see some standing puddles. But as far as like standing water in the river, I don't think so, but it's totally possible, especially with all the weather we've been having, and especially with all the drainage from the side of those mountains, Josh. So a good point you brought up on that. Getting
Yeah,
out
maybe
of
some cross ruts and stuff too. I don't know.
For
If everybody
sure.
pre-run through there, it gets pretty beat in, but
So then it gets back on the highway again, and this is probably the longest highway section or one of the longer ones.
it's
It's only like 10 miles or something, huh?
yeah. Is it 10 miles?
It looks
Let's
about
see.
like
It says-
7.
Yeah.
Yeah, about 10 maybe. 8 miles.
Take it easy. Those of you, that might be out there at night, remember you have your highway lights, the dim lights, so you're not putting race lights at people. And make sure your chase crews understand not to use their off-road lights on the highway. That's really rude and
Well,
really not cool.
not to mention you get pulled over.
Yeah, it's true. Get pulled
They'll
over.
pull
for
you
that.
over for it. So
This gets you down along the beach, this zigzag down here. This has been changing a little bit over the years to get around this river at VCPs 102, 103, 104. There's a fish camp down there. There's traditionally a water crossing heads up down in there. Looks like BFG Pit 3 is right at the Pirate Bar. There is a location out there. You can actually see the picture on it there. That's the cove
cliff.
below it. But yeah, there's a place out there you can get food and get on these fast roads headed north. Now, note on these.
Josh likes this stuff.
Yeah, this is a Josh type of thing right here. Note where you have road crossings and where you have these arroyos, just be really careful. But the one that's marked as a danger is still really critical. It's not a straight line into that, or it hasn't been, I should say. I haven't been there recently, but it looks like there's a bit of a jog on the score course. But just be careful in there. You can see how much water goes through that section. Hit the VCPs as you make the turns. This puts you right on the Pacific Ocean, and I believe this is what you're talking about, some of the most
Yep.
beautiful part of the
Yep.
race course. There's some big dangers here.
we were zoomed out a little, or we were zoomed in a little too close.
See
when I
these
said that,
see
but
these
yep.
washouts, heads up. Wherever the river comes down through, there's
Quite a
some
few of
big
them.
stuff in there, and you can see that you can see from the score course there's a turn in it and stuff.
Yeah,
Just
the
be
one thing
real-
I love, man, is like, especially like when I've raced the Baja 500, and typically when I've done the beach section, I've done it with you. And, you're pre-running and you get to enjoy all that during the race, you not so much. But every now and then, man, you're just wooding it, whatever. You could do 100 and deep
as
into
you
the
want.
hundreds over there.
Yeah, right before you get to
Um,
Punta San Jacinto, there is a dog rescue there on the left side where that road intersects in there. So heads up, there's lots of dogs and cages on the outside of the building. Haven't seen them run around, but it's possible. Just be careful. You go around the chain link fence here, and this is where Shipwrecks is. If you want to click one of those photos there, Fish, I'm sure it's a picture of the ship.
There it is.
There you
That's
go.
about what it looks like now. It's pretty deteriorated, but it ran aground back in the early 80s. It has been there, so there's another photo.
And if you ever
there.
go on one of Cameron's badass truck trips, they'll post up right there with their canopy and their food, and it's
There you
a
have
fun
it.
time.
Yeah, we like to do that. Then through this section here, this is out the back. There's like an eco area. They're doing some ecotourism there, but we race on the 2-track through there, and then back up through race mile 360. This is a
It's
fast
cool.
section.
You know what's cool, Cam, is they're bringing you down pretty far, and that's fun because it looks like they didn't run San Felipe, which chops out a lot of mileage, right? If you're going to run that whole loop.
A lot of whoops.
Yeah, and so, but to get to run more beach sections, really a treat,
Watch the road crossings in there too. You can see that's a well-traveled road there right around VCP 108. you go around a small rancho there. Just watch for the intersecting traffic.
Especially pre-running.
Yeah, for sure.
pre-running for
Then
sure.
there's a danger marked in here. There's actually 2 drop-away holes that can surprise you in here. Maybe more. For sure, a couple that I always remember. Then into Cuatro Casas, and this is a area where there's a surf spot there, and beware because the silt does develop as you head towards VCP 109.
Yeah, it's pretty strange when you're on some of these roads and they're like seem like good graded roads or good racetrack, and then race day you go, what the hell happened to the track? It's now a silt bed. This was a graded road 3 days ago. No, not anymore.
So then this is the same that it always comes back up here, right, and heads back out towards the highway.
You go up to Clemente.
Clemente.
Yeah, this is the wash they've been using maybe for 3 years now. I mean, we've used it over the years, but recently we've been doing a lot more of using this wash. I just want to say to everybody pre-running and even during the race, there is a lot of cross traffic from those farms and back and forth, especially as you get closer and closer to towns. Just really, really beware of people in traffic. And at that bridge right there where Highway 1 goes over, there's a lot of fans there, a lot of people watching. Again, heads up as you get to VCP 112. This goes back and goes under. Well, I shouldn't say it goes under. I heard there was a problem with the tunnel, but I'm trying to see.
I think they had the tractor here the other day, and they were making a line up to it. I saw someone sent me a picture.
Oh,
I think
okay.
this was it.
What's the little
Not
picture
sure.
there, man? Does it show what we got?
No.
Negative.
Yeah, so just beware. I'm not exactly sure how this runs. Just heads up there. Then after you get up on top of these mountains, and this is a route that it's become a real race course, 2-tracky towards the end with turns and big rocks, and that's going to drop you down into this little valley at VCP 115, and then you come up out of the valley blind over the top of a ledge at 116 and get back on some of the graded roads as you go back through Johnson Ranch in the San Antonio Del Mar area. Watch for traffic in there, of course. This is a little different here. You can see the marker for Cerro Solo. This is known as the Cerro Solo Road, I guess. The race course traditionally comes in here and has gone down to the coast, and you can see the couple different tracks go down to the coast there. This time it's making a right turn onto this, pretty good sized graded road. Beware, it's a little slippery, and there are some pretty serious turns on it.
So from pre-running up here, though, can you see the ocean and stuff, or are you stuffed down in a canyon?
When you get to this location at the right turn at VCP 120, you can see the ocean off to the side, but as soon as you turn right, you're gone from the ocean. Yeah.
Okay.
And
Now, what do you think about during race day, fog? I know we're not going to be that late at night, so that usually doesn't roll until in the morning, but I guess it's always
The
a possibility.
8 a.m.
But
start probably helps out a lot with that at this race because they're starting earlier than they normally
we're starting at 8?
8 a.m. is the first truck off the line.
But that,
it is.
That
Yep.
might
I didn't
put
know that.
That might put you
Right
in
here,
fog off
right
the
here.
Oh boy, I'm learning stuff on Fishgistics. What time? When did the bike start?
Motos at 4, so they might start.
4 a.m.
Everybody might start in the fog.
I think what they wanted to do, they want to get the trucks to finish in the daylight for TV and everything, and it looks a lot better when people can see people finishing at the finish line. So I like the 8 a.m. start personally, because who really sleeps in anyways? Like you're up in the morning of the race anyways. What's the
Yeah,
point
I'm
of
usually
starting
up
at
listening
11?
to the bike start.
Yeah.
So I'll have to wear my earplugs.
So this is all going to be daytime for for a lot of the guys coming back through here.
Yeah, so race mile 400, you're still on that Cerro Solo Road. Now this gets you into the backside of San Vicente, and out by the highway is the Rancho Santa Marta Orphanage and School, which we do quite a bit of charitable work there through our Baja Beach Bash trip. Really nice people out there with a great cause. You're going to junction left, and I'm trying to look here. If you zoom in.
Well, there's traditionally where we
that's-
come out
that's
from the
where we
crossover.
we always hit the left-hand turn there. That's where we
Speed zone.
hit. And we're in the speed zone through the ranchos. Then we're going to make this left here. This is a little bit different now. I've spent tons of time in this area for unknown reasons.
Well,
But
isn't this where they ran it the first year they really bashed down on the penalties?
they ran, actually, that was over here. I'm not sure if we ran back here.
I thought
It's
so.
a pretty
'cause
fast road right
So
here.
I remember
it is
I
fast road.
Pictures. Yeah.
I remember I chopped off a corner through a dude's field and got zinged like massive penalty.
Yeah, so this is going to take us through the back. This is an old power line or power line road that takes you back into the wash that comes into Arendia. And this is a road that I've been on quite a few times. There's some slippery stuff. This
is always
blind
packed
stuff.
with people in here. There's a lot of booby traps in this area usually, I think.
Yeah, you
like
drop down
buried
into
telephone
the
poles.
wash here at Arendia Wash. You can see the highways right next to you there. And there will be a lot of fans and people. Be careful on the lines you choose going towards VCP 130. Obviously, lots of people there.
And there's a school down there too, and there's kids always running out for stickers.
There's lots of kids down there.
Yeah, they want to
take it
check everything out.
super easy. Then you're going to go through the rock whoops. This is a famous part right
All
down
right,
here.
question for you, man.
Yeah.
You wooden it through the whoops, or are you cruising?
Well, I've actually lost a brake line in the rock whoops before.
Were you going fast or were you
I
going
was
slow?
going medium fast. I didn't think I was being too aggressive. But you know, there's different ways to take a look at it and figure out how it works for you. But those rock whoops, you can kind of go quick, but at the same time, you're risking going offline because it's not really like sand. It's just the way it feels.
No, you
like,
roll. I mean, it's
it
like
mushes out on you sometimes. And to be honest with you, right off to the left is, a drop away to the Pacific Ocean.
Yeah.
And if you go off to that left side, you're not recovering. You're not pulling yourself back up on the road without help, as far as I'm concerned.
I'm trying to think. So when I've gone through there, it's always been at just a conservative pace.
Yeah.
But I'm always rethinking, like, man, I want to go through there just
You can watch
wooded.
You can watch the
Because I've seen
videos.
dudes do it, and I'm
Yeah.
like, I need to do it too.
Through Arendia, there's a speed zone there. You guys take it easy. Of course, our good friends Ta and Rick own Coyote Cows out there. If you guys need a place to stay, or
So
if
we're
you
not
wanna
running
hang
around
out,
Chupacabra there?
Yeah, we could chupacabra there a little bit. Race mile 420. You can see there's a place called Cabras up there.
That's where I was going at, man.
Racing through the section.
Because don't we normally go down by Cabras and along the ocean there?
Yeah, I'm looking at that right now. So no, that's the race course. That's how we always do it.
Okay.
This is what's.
Oh
known
yeah,
as,
you're up on that kind of
this
meadow,
is short,
right?
Short Beach, Long Beach is what some people call it. Short Beach here, Long Beach there, and we go around through there.
Yeah, right up there right there about where Rosero is at the end of that.
And actually,
that
if you
line.
look here before at where VCP 132 is, we're actually going through the center. The main graded road goes out to the right.
Yeah, that's
right
where we
there.
normally go, right?
Yeah, we've been going through there, and these sand dunes down here at VCP 132, there are some tight turns in there. You got to be careful because it can really become a little bit tricky in the big vehicles, especially.
Yeah. The
And then-
biggest waves I've ever seen in my life are right there about where his marker is.
Yeah.
They're
They look pretty big on the satellite.
dude, the tops where that canyon is or where that cliff is right there, the tops of the waves were like a foot above the edge.
Were
of the
we
cliff.
there?
Yeah.
Together on that one? Yeah,
That was when
a
that
good
blowhole
swell.
was going off when we were throwing tires in it and they were going about 30 feet in the air. It was insane.
Yeah, so this is Calavera Beach. It's a pretty beautiful little
Do you know
spot.
what Calavera stands for?
No.
Skull.
Skull. Gotcha. Be careful. There's traditional lines in there, but you can see where the VCP is. Make sure you race the race course.
Is that the uphill there? That that one right there, huh?
Yeah, so
That's
there's a VCP.
oh,
out
there's
there.
a VCP. Come on, man. Come on. Well, that one's, the reason why I even say
go
that
that
is
way,
because
I
it
guess.
takes big balls to go up that thing, man. Because you look at it, it's hard to see on this, but you go,
looks real
it's
easy from
straight
here.
up, dude. It's straight up. And if you fail, you go back into the ocean. You know what I mean? So that's why I think that, hey, if you've got the whales to go up it, that's a risk you're taking, man. You're taking a risk to go
True
in the,
story.
go in the bath.
We had done some strategy back. I think it was in 2000 and I want to say 6 maybe when we raced on this side for the 250, and we'd strategized at not taking tires, and our tires were smoked, and we decided not to go up that shortcut, and we were first truck on the road, and Larry Ragland passed me right there on the shortcut because there's no way I was going to make it with the tires, and I actually went, and we still would. I'm not sure how it worked out on time, but we weren't panicked because he got by us. But I went like maybe 2 more miles, and the tires came apart.
Really?
Yeah,
Oh, it would have sucked if you were going
Yeah.
up the hill and they did that.
Bad planning on our
Yeah.
part. We tried to risk it, and it was a risk we shouldn't have taken. There's more to that story where we couldn't get the lug nuts off the truck. But, we'll just call it strategy at this point. This road's super busy, everybody. Just over under, I always say you're going to see at least 5 oncoming vehicles. Be really careful leaving the coast. VCP 134 is a hard right turn where you junction onto an even busier part of the road. So just heads up on through here. This is what's known as the Santa Tomas Road.
Yeah.
You're going to come down the hill. Again, another great traditional racing spot, dropping into Santa Tomas. More speed zone. Lots of people. Be careful. Don't be racer guy out there. And then that's going to get you back where you turn right off at Juan's Acambro, where you can get breakfast and lunch
and the best chili rellenos ever invented right there.
Yeah, Juan and his family are just incredible people.
What, real quick, since we're doing course, stuff, that I love that dude, man. He made a truck stop. You're
talking about right here?
Yeah, he takes care of it all, bitching, puts signs up. He's like, you see it right there. Yeah. See all that across the street? That dude's just stoked, man.
Wow, it looks like a picture from when we were out at Baja Beach Bash. It looks like all our trucks are parked.
And stuff there,
Something's going on. But this is Juan's Acambro. His sons, Juan Jr. and Marlon, and his wife and daughter there. They have great food, great personality. They'll help you out however they can. They're just superb people. Just if you need to stop in, they have clean bathrooms there too.
Yeah, the place is on point, man.
Yeah,
the guy actually, he's a good businessman. He's a small family business there, and he's like, hey, I'm going to make it attractive for everybody who want to come here.
The only thing I'll mention is be careful. Do not park right next to the highway. Do not let your kids get out next to the highway. Yeah, be really careful.
Semi's doing friggin' 70 past you right there.
That puts us back in the hills at Europan or at Oppen, and that's going to take us back to VCP 137, where you're going to head back to the start-finish line up in Estero Beach. And I like the race course. It's got a little bit of everything for everybody.
It certainly does have a little bit of everything.
You get the fast coast, you get the whoops and washes of the low desert. You get the summit, and you get Mike Sky Ranch. It's just lots of really, really cool stuff. So now you can see the matchups. So I'm going to say Andy McMillan's going to get out of the infield all by himself, no problem.
You think? The only way it would happen is if he rolled it or broke it right off the start. I'm not giving him the hex. And that's not going to happen, but
people. Andy's pretty sharp.
Yeah, it's a very rare thing that he makes a mistake.
Yeah, and he gets to go by himself.
Yeah, no, he's so badass. I mean, it's going to be very hard.
So Fishgistics breaking news here. Well, not breaking as of yesterday. So everyone knows Andy was having the new truck built. He wasn't sure which one he was going to drive. So he's going with the 2-wheel drive. They were out testing the all-wheel drive yesterday.
Oh, they were testing it already.
And they had a problem with the new X-Trax transmission. They're trying to do something a little different. He's running a 5-speed. It's a little different than what Bryce and the other guys that run X-Trax have, so they did have an issue with that. They're going to take a look at it and see what happened, but he's going with the 2-wheel drive. They were getting it ready to go. Same truck he won San Felipe in, so he's going to be racing that 2-wheel drive truck at the 500.
Well, I would have bet however much money you wanted to bet on that, and I'll tell you why, because he's too smart. He's got the resources to have the reliable truck, so why would you build a brand new 4-wheel drive, not figured out, him specifically? Yep. I don't see him taking that risk.
If it was capable of racing, I'd say Scott would race it. Start in the back and just put the miles
I think he was going to go for it. If he had a good testing session and they had no problems or anything, he was going to go for it with it.
Yeah. I would have been very surprised. Like I said, I would have bet money on it because, there's a reason why he's one of the best in the world because he's very smart and,
Well, Christian Serapis has showed up, and since we're going to talk odds right now, let's get Christian out here.
Yeah, since we're talking about all-wheel drive trucks.
Yeah, especially because Christian,
what do you got here?
He's got a chair. All right. Christian just fresh off the win at the Moore race. Congratulations, Christian, on winning that. I know a smaller race, but it's always great to win, right?
Yeah, I mean, doesn't matter which way we show up to, whether it's a score race, Best in the Desert, Moore. My brother Brett and I always show up to win, so to be able to put down 300 solid miles in the Mason all-wheel drive truck, couldn't be happier. Besides losing first gear in the first 20 feet, we had relatively no issues. So
that's great. I mean, you guys have been doing a lot of great testing on the 4-wheel drive. But so, what do you think about Andy's decision? Did you think it was too close with the finish date to actually commit to racing it? I always thought it was going to be really close, and I was pretty much convinced he was going to be in the 2-wheel drive. But then again, I come from a little bit more of a conservative standpoint on things sometimes.
Yeah, I could go either way. I mean, the flip side of going with the 2-wheel drive is that he has a truck that he just came off a win of, and it's proven. But if you look at the other side of the spectrum, when is he going to test it? Is he going to test it at the Baja 400 and risk having a problem there and then being screwed for the 1,000? Or is he going to add another race in?
Maybe Vegas Arena.
Vegas Arena is the spot for that truck. I actually hope he doesn't bring it because that's going to
Are
be
you
hard.
gonna race?
Yeah, I'm going to drive with Justin Matney.
So we, just so you guys know, Josh, myself, and Christian had nothing to do with the odds that are listed. You guys can hate us anyway.
Send me the hate mail.
But you can send Fish the hate mail. Fish, who's on your panel for mixing up these?
This is me.
Oh, just you.
Yeah,
This
I
is-
mean, every once in a while
this
there's
is
somebody
Fish's
that gives
opinion.
me a little input, to come
run
up
it-
with a smart, remark or something. But
Yeah, once in a while he'll run it by me like, hey, what do you think? Or
yeah,
something,
I send it to a couple people and like,
I just
hey,
go,
what do you think?
I'm out, man. I don't want to be involved.
But people
with your
don't like their name
shenanigans.
to be on this, or they get yelled at. So
It's
I'm
very
not
hard
gonna-
because
I'm not
you're
going to yell at
basically-
you. I don't really care. Everybody's got an opinion, and it's great. It's
Yeah.
good for me.
So nobody's seen this yet. Everyone's just seeing this right now. I haven't posted it yet. I'll post it after we're done with the show here.
All right.
We
Well,
can
I
bring
like,
it up
Well,
later.
hey,
obviously,
let's change the odds if anybody thinks anything different.
I think that Andy's
want.
odds at 2-1 are great. He's one of the smartest racers, one of the quickest racers, has a really put together program, and I think that being by himself with no pressure coming out of the infield, he gets to just run his own race, and we're going right into. We haven't seen the start area, but provided a minute gap is enough for him to get out of the infield by himself. I mean, he's got a lot of single track going into Europe and through there. Where I don't see anybody challenging. Speaking of challenging, the next two off the line, Ryan Arciero, Dan McMillan.
And this is order. This is the starting order, so this is not the odds order.
Yeah, this is the side-by-side here. Who do you like coming out of the infield on this one, Josh or Christian?
I don't know which truck's faster.
I know Ryan commented earlier
This
that
will be
he's
close.
not a fan.
Yeah, Ryan was on here. He
two by
said he
two.
didn't like the starting side by side.
I don't imagine, but I know that Dan's hauls ass and everything. But I don't. Is he the aggressive kind of guy that
He's been super
He's
aggressive.
gotten more aggressive the last
Yeah.
few races.
Because my ass would be putting a donut right up your door. I
Yeah.
mean, but
What's the penalty for jumping the start?
That's a good question.
Maybe none.
Yeah.
Because if it was like how Best in Desert used to have it, where it's only 15 seconds, I'm
worth it.
jumping at 5 seconds early.
There we go. Little
Look,
inside.
listen to
Look at-
Christian.
man, listen to this cheating over here.
Cameron knows how to be.
Already.
Cameron knows how to get the jump now.
I wouldn't jump 5 seconds, man. I might go half a second.
I think the Herbst truck has great mechanical grip. I think Dan's truck's a little bigger. I mean, I think
I think the Herbst truck is lighter.
I agree with
I
that.
don't know. Why do you think that? Have you seen
This
him
is
weigh?
built lighter.
It
How do you
looks
know it's
lighter.
built lighter?
I don't know.
Because it looks like it.
He'll know.
You
Yeah,
know. You
one.
guys.
The Herb
How much
truck,
weight?
Herb trucks accelerate really well. I don't think they'd be any more than 50, 57, 56.
Oh, so they're about the same then. So yeah, so we're wrong on weight, but I don't know.
That's close. I mean, it
This
could
is
be
a good
300.
battle going out of the infield.
Yeah, I
as
think
far
it's
as
gonna be
I'm
really
concerned.
That's gonna be close.
Who's
Let's
got
get it
a
closer.
bigger engine?
Yeah.
Well, we got patent power in Ryan's truck, and what's Dan have? A Dugan's or a Croyer? I don't know.
He has a
I don't know. He
Croyer.
doesn't have the best brand.
All right, we
so.
can't take all day on one, but I
Yeah,
think
good job.
interesting odds. Dan has been on point. Ryan has been running great. They both had a really good San Felipe, so that's pretty much a toss-up going out of the infield for me.
Yeah.
Going to the next grouping, can you highlight them?
So it's no.
It's
We
Zach
can
and
maybe-
Luke.
But then you won't be able to see it. So
my
Zach Langley and
my
Luke
dog's
McMillan.
back to trying to kiss me on the air.
But Zach Langley is actually going to be Jurgensen driving off the start, I was told.
Oh, it is. Jurgensen's a great driver and aggressive. I think Luke is probably one of the finest in our sport right now, and I think that Luke's recent experience with short course, Luke's equipment, I think that Luke has the advantage out of the infield here, but
I think so.
Todd is an incredible driver. I mean, he doesn't get a lot of credit because he hasn't been racing a lot under his name, but he's definitely a really solid driver. Any thoughts?
It's Kyle, right? Kyle Jurgensen.
Oh, Kyle Jurgensen, right? Not Todd's his dad, right?
Yeah. What's his name?
Sorry,
over here?
I was going along with what you
On
said.
there.
I'm sorry. I gotta look at the map. Yeah. Oh, trying to look. Yeah, Kyle Jurgensen.
Kyle Jurgensen.
Were we saying Todd?
You were.
Oh, I was.
I think that's
Sorry.
his dad.
His dad's a good driver too, by the way.
They all
But
are.
yeah, family of racers. And then I'll let you guys take the
We
next.
got some
pairing.
donkeys going next
Yeah,
here.
you got the donkey team.
Yeah. Cameron,
I don't know,
Bobby
man. I
Decoy.
don't know. Who, I mean, Bobby's got the sauce, but
Now, what truck is Bobby in here?
he drive my old truck.
He's in the
sold.
big block.
Oh, so that's going to be some
But
power.
you got it. But you got a crafty.
Yeah. Oh, well,
you got
Cameron's
a
going to jump
crafty
the start by a
short course.
second,
Yeah,
so
the
he's going to
Bobby
get him.
kicked ass in short course too.
Bobby and I raced
know,
short
man.
course against each other for a couple years in the pro buggies, and we're teammates, so we're gonna try not to ruin the trucks leaving the
Yeah, I don't
infield.
blame you. Play smart. That'd be the best thing for you.
I'll just give Bobby the advantage. I'm not too worried.
I got
about it.
Cameron at the better odds.
Say
though.
something though. We don't know what the lanes look like either, because oftentimes there's a better lane, right? So I'd imagine the guy with the better starting position, better finishing position that would have started is going to get the better choice of lanes. Now, whether that's true or not, it could just be a straight drag race all the way down to the.
Never know.
Who knows?
Yeah, we'll see.
But lane choice would be
Just for the
big.
mind game, I'm going to give Bobby the advantage here.
All right.
Because I'm going to start the mind game right now with him. Next out of the infield will be Lofton and Chris Miller. And is Chris in his new truck? Do we know?
I heard he's going to have a driver, and his last name's going to be Johnson.
Oh, interesting.
So which one? I've heard either one. So that's why my odds are here. I have them at 9-1. I said tell your first driver to go easy so you get to drive. I saw those trucks at the end of San Felipe, and they were a little torn up, so, just to say the least.
I don't know that you can, I'm just going to throw it out there. Those guys are driving somebody else's truck, and they're both good. I mean, I don't know if it's going to be Ricky or Luke. They're both really badass drivers, but Justin Lofton.
Everybody on the
one
list.
Of the best
Everybody
dudes.
on the list
So-
is incredible drivers.
Well, Justin Lofton's won the last
and he's in his own
Best
truck.
Desert races.
I'm going to take Lofton. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Most of these guys are my friends, but I just got to call it the way I think it's going to go.
There you go.
And it's all just for fun, like I said.
Yeah,
Don't let it get in your head. And so Robbie Gordon, Bryce Menzies, this is one you definitely is exciting. Robbie.
Yeah,
Now,
Robbie's
what
just
truck?
insane, so
what truck is
let's
Robbie
see.
in though? Is he in the geyser? Because I gave him 6-1 if he's in the geyser, but 12-1 if he's in his own TT.
Well, yeah, but if he's in his own, that sucker's fast.
Now, if he's in
and
his
on the
own,
great roads and stuff.
Robbie will have a better shot off the
The
start.
rumor
if he's
is
in
that
his
his own TT is in North Carolina with the front cut off to make it all-wheel drive.
own. Well, there you go.
It's a
So
good
he's
rumor.
probably in the RPM truck again. So for sure, Bryce.
Bryce-
And I've driven that truck. It works okay, but
No dumb problems, and he wins by 10 minutes. Nice,
Yes,
Fish.
calling it.
He's calling it. I see that.
well, I don't know that.
you gotta
'Cause how
have
are you
no
gonna
dumb
blast
problems.
past those other dudes in front of him? You've only got a 1.
He doesn't have to,
2,
though.
3 minute. Yeah, you do. You got to pass them to get 10 minutes on him.
Who?
Everybody in front of him.
Oh yeah. Well, he'll just go by everybody.
Oh, okay.
Have you seen him? Have you seen that truck when it runs when it doesn't have a problem? That thing
Yeah,
is
but
ridiculous.
to
What
just
about
drive
King of the
around
Hammers?
everybody, you
King of the
gotta have-
Hammers
Which
race was
qualifying.
that?
King of the Hammers qualifying. He beat everybody by what 30 seconds
he
in a
did.
couple miles.
Qualifying.
Like, just saying that truck is fast. If it has no dumb
There's no
problems.
doubt about it, and no doubt about his driving ability. I'm not arguing all
But
that.
it seems
I'm
like
just
he
saying
has
if
dumb
he
problems.
wins by 10 minutes, he has to pass all those.
Just to be
dudes.
Yes.
clear, I have all these guys have great driving ability. We're just having
For sure.
fun talking about the matchups. Tim Herbst
Yeah.
and BJ Baldwin.
Oh, BJ's gonna win that one.
I don't
Who's,
know.
who's driving with
I
Tim?
don't know.
BJ's all about the Hoonigan short course, 2 wheels.
Who's
Dude,
driving
he'll
with
probably
Tim?
do 2 wheels around
It's
the whole
probably
infield.
going to be Ed, but from what I've heard, they're going to have the Gibbs engine in it for the 19 as well.
I still give it to BJ on that.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. BJ is good at driving, and he's good at the short course, like throwing his truck around. I think.
Well, yeah, you're good at that.
Well, I'm talking about off the start. Who's going to win? I think he'll
I don't
win.
know though. I mean,
I think it's going to be closer than you think.
It could be.
All right, Alan Apudia and Mikey Lawrence, the next two off together. And Apudia obviously spends a lot of time on the short course track, knows a lot about setup.
Hometown
and,
crowd.
Hometown racetrack.
how about this? Alan's. I've watched him drive, and I'm just like, hell yeah, dude! He's just so nuts.
Yeah.
I'm so stoked watching him. Like,
Well, that's what the
I
odds
watched
is.
this
Hopefully he has a
video
heli.
going down San Felipe down Zero Road. I was
Lawrence
like,
has
fuck
pro light
yeah,
experience.
dude. He's
so.
getting crazy.
Yeah, Mikey's been racing short course, so that's a good drag race out of there. Next
That'd
up,
be great. That's gonna be a great match.
Billy Wilson, who has won at San Felipe in the past. He did race San Felipe last minute. I think he joined the fray and had a pretty solid finish. And he's going up against Rob Mack, which
Who?
yeah, exactly, Rob Mack. Never heard of him. Probably the greatest short course desert racer of all time. That's a tough one there.
Well, I'm gonna say both trucks are. Obviously, I think Billy's gotten really fast.
I do too.
But I'm gonna say both trucks are kind of equal in speed. I would if I were to. Throw that out there, and how can you bet against Rob in short course or desert or anything
And he
else?
just
I mean,
raced the track. Just raced the
Yeah,
last
come on. I
weekend.
mean, the guy's obviously the
Yeah.
the
That
best.
was- yeah.
So how do you? We're one of them.
So now I think the bigger question is how hard does Rob push to catch up to everybody else? Because he's got a lot of fast guys starting up front.
He's not. How can you push the dust in the single track and drive it off the road? He's going to sit there and be smart, wait for opportunity.
Yep.
I mean, he's not dumb.
He's nobody's dummy.
Yep.
So a lot of trucks there. You see Dave Taylor, Gary Magnus will be heads up on the next field. That's the Mango Racing. Then Tony Smiley and Justin Matney. And Matney will be in the four-wheel drive. Is that right?
Yeah, he's driving the all-wheel drive. So
Josh would know.
So let's have that discussion. I keep calling them four-wheel drives. You call them all-wheel drives.
they're both.
What is it? What do you got, Christian?
It changes every day for me.
I'll tell you why I say all-wheel drive, because there's no option to be two-wheel drive.
I think that's what it is on a street car. Like if your
so I'm just calling
Escalade
it like
is
a street
all-wheel
car.
drive,
When you go buy
there's
a
no
brand
knob.
new Denali and it's all-wheel drive, that's just
There's
what
no
you
knob
get. There's
to
no
turn
knob
it.
to take
Yeah.
it out. So
Stoked to see Tony Smiley on the number
But
2,
it's the
of
same.
course. And I see your message there for Pistol. The next pairing, Tolls and Post, a couple good dudes. Post driving the Riviera truck, the
Black Diamond.
And is he going all by himself, or is he got
LR.
somebody with him?
Larry
Larry
Ross.
Rossler.
Is Larry
I think,
starting?
That's good teaming.
Probably.
Up. And
I think they need. I think they need to put different shocks on it though. That's what I said on the odds. I just, I
Still
think
has the
those.
old RG shop
Yeah,
on
it has the single shock coilover bypass. The old
I
Robbie
don't know what
shocks,
kind of
so.
work's done in him. I've
don't
never
know.
driven that truck. So
Yeah, I've never been in it. Kyle sure made it go
Kyle-
fast.
He did.
Kyle talks like it's the best thing ever.
But how long does
I
it
don't
go
know.
fast for? Through the big holes. We'll see.
Who
Corey
knows?
Kesar and Abdali Lopez, and Abdali definitely one of the top in our sport currently. He is amazingly quick,
Yeah.
and he has spent some time on the short course.
You know what I would say? Corey, I think is a really great driver. He's, but this is what I would do if I was those two. I'd just let Abdali go for it, and I'm just gonna follow him.
Yeah.
Hey, punch a hole, man. Go for it.
Well, that's what I said on the odds here. I said he will for sure have the most destroyed bumper at the finish.
Yeah, he's going.
He's gone. Yeah.
And dude, that kid, he's.
Massive Hoyos.
Dude, I don't know how he does some of the things. You're like, how the hell did you just pass somebody right there? I mean, it's
He goes for it. That's for
blind
sure.
eyeing it, man, through the dust. It's pretty gnarly, but he pulls it off and it's smooth, So you're like, okay,
For sure.
Yep.
Next up, Jonathan Brenthal. That's in their truck, correct?
Yeah,
I think so.
And Troy Herbst, which will be Troy and Pat Dean, if I'm not mistaken.
Does that one have the new motor too?
Yeah, that one had the new engine at St. Felipe. So.
Jonathan's got
there
one
you
of
go.
our big blocks in it, so we'll see.
Then you got two fast guys here, and there's a little mix-up here on the 99. They're throwing a little curveball in there. You got Tavo and Dale Dondell. And I did confirm this right before the show. In the Dondell entry is going to be the fastest 6100 driver currently driving that for his first trophy truck race.
Brock Hager.
Yes, he's going to be in the 99, and that is in a two-wheel drive truck. It is not the four-wheel drive that Dondell's been running.
Yep. So he's driving Jimmy Knuckles. personal
Interesting.
Yep. So a little change
Well,
ball.
I
change
got
up
news
there.
for him. Just don't mess with Tavo.
Yep.
Tavo is amazingly fast.
He could just sit on Tavo's bumper and follow him all the way.
truck. I've done that before. I let him pass me once, and I was like, "Go for it, man! You're
Yeah.
going insane, dude. We got 1,000 miles." That was the year he actually won and they got the penalty. I was driving your truck. I went through like 6 dudes, and I was like, "Holy shit!" I looked in the mirror, and he's coming, hauling ass with the bumper flying off and the hood's flapping, and I'm like, "Come on, man! You're going so fast."
Just let him go. Yeah,
Yeah,
go right behind him.
I followed his helicopter to Borrego, and then I was like, "Dude, this dude's just running it, man."
He is.
I thought he was gonna break for sure. I even told my co-driver,
Yeah.
I'm like, "Dude, he's gonna break. There's no way."
Yeah.
And he actually won, but obviously the penalty on the highway. So.
Kevin Thompson and Mike Palmer, next pairing.
That's the last of the real trophy truck. Then you have the legends in there.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
Mike
Well, I think-
Palmer drives with
Childress.
Childress, mostly. So,
And Harley's driving the Thompson truck.
dude, but Kevin's gotten
He's pretty
gnarly.
fast himself,
Yeah,
too.
He's
now.
gotten really fast. So a lot of times you can't even tell who's driving. So
Yeah.
he's gotten very good.
Well, I think the
and
whole
he's got
field,
massive arms. So
the whole field's pretty incredible when you think about it. I mean, you look at the odds. There's some great names out there.
Yeah, everybody in there's great.
Big starting field. I originally mistakenly thought that this was your start position for the September race, but Christian, I think you're the one that straightened me out on that. It actually goes back to a draw for the September race, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep, that's what I read and what I've heard.
So what would you rather do? Would you rather qualify in
I think
Vegas or draw?
Well,
Yeah,
no.
go race some other
I would
race.
rather qualify the 400 for the 1,000, But for some reason, I think going back to a blind draw after we've been racing already this year is silly. I think that there should be some kind of accommodation.
Was that a for sure thing that you guys read?
That's what Christian told me when he read it, right? And then I thought that's what I saw.
Too.
Yeah,
That's
I've heard
what
the
I've
same
heard.
thing.
I'm going to tell you my theory on that, and I don't know. I haven't talked to Roger about it, but my assumption is that nobody would show up to that 400 race. You know,
It'd sort of be like the Tijuana race.
yeah, nobody shows
No,
up.
but I'm
because it's not a popular
saying I
race.
like that as a start position for the 1,000, but I don't like the 400 as a blind draw. I think
No, but
that's not the way to do it after we've been racing all year.
Oh, you're
Do
saying
it
blind
off-
draw, but still have that as
So
your
a reset. So
The
you
finishing
have no
position
incentive
of the
for doing
Baja
one.
500 should be the starting position of the Baja
And if
400.
not that, how about some accommodation for the top 10 or the top 20 or or some kind of mixing it up of the theory. I mean, something that so you're not just all of a sudden blind drawn. And for sure, I'm going to say having the Legends guys mixed back in there would be a huge bummer.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, what was the point of having Legends if they're mixed with the trophy trucks? Like, wouldn't you think that they join Legends so they can sort of have their own separate race?
Right,
Yeah,
so they
you
don't
would think
have
so.
to race with the
And
trophy truck.
most of the fast Legends stay in trophy truck. Like, there's really the old Legends over 50 are Rob Mack and Robbie Gordon and other people that I won't mention because their age is kind of a secret. But
You gotta love that.
Oh boy.
Oh,
whose
man.
age is a secret.
I plead the fifth.
But yeah, I think it's a great field and it's pretty exciting. Do we got any questions up there? Any good
Yeah,
comments?
hold on a
any,
second
any
here. We
hatred?
had-
That's
I got a question for you, Cam.
Yeah.
Since we haven't talked about them, what about bikes? Do you think that, and what do you think about the chances of an overall for a bike?
Anything's possible. I think that the bike guys are incredible.
They're gnarly.
Yeah. they're
Historically,
strong.
before we had VCPs, it was very, very, very hard to beat them.
Yeah.
And now we're able to do it more regularly. But what do you think about looking at the track and stuff? There's not really much to chop.
Yeah, it's really hard to say. I think that the bike guys have a lot of talent. They're really well pre-run. The guys that are running up front. So, the thing for me is, as a trophy truck driver, I don't pay attention to what their speeds are, or I don't really think about it too much. All I want to do is be careful passing any bikes we come up to. But I'm not racing them for the overall. I'm racing for the overall four-wheel, so I don't put a lot of thinking into it. So I haven't really digested anything about the course or average speed for them at all.
Right.
But I will tell you that we're bringing a hell of a lot better truck to the 500 than we brought to San Felipe, and I'm feeling quite a bit more like racing. I wasn't
Feeling froggy?
Yeah, it wasn't very racy at San Felipe. It was
Nah.
the first time in a long time I've gone to a race where I felt like we really had to be a little bit more conservative with our equipment, and we didn't have a ton of confidence. So I'm excited.
Do
now.
you like that though? Where does it seem like your starting position for this race means your finishing position means your starting position? Does that take away from your mentality a little bit? Like, you can't really show up to win. Like, sort of like the Baja 400. Are you going to go out there and go balls to the wall and try and win? Or the expenses, if you do something dumb or you have a problem, you're screwed for the 1,000.
Yeah, it all depends on the points too. I guess there will be a group of people that go to that race thinking about points, which I know everybody's thinking about start positions for the 1,000. For me, as long as we're starting in the first 10 or 15 in the fast trucks, I think it's all good for the 1,000. Here, I think it's definitely better to be in the first 8 or 10. But again, the pack is so quick, and the pace last year was incredible at the 500. That was the fastest 310 miles
Dude, the
I've
pace
ever
is gnarly.
raced. For sure, the first 310 until we thought we had a problem and stopped. But
Well, that's the issue that I've been having lately is it's not really an issue, but I'm just saying what I've noticed is that how much harder you got to drive to be competitive. I mean,
Yep.
it's like, boy, which I like, but
Yeah.
but it's no longer just, hey, I just saved my stuff and made it. Nope.
for sure,
You
saving your
gotta
stuff
go.
and
Yeah.
making it doesn't cut it. But sometimes it works out. You got to get to the finish line. You got to be just slow enough to win. How's that?
For sure. That's my
all
motto.
racing.
See
Yeah.
anything else on my bike? On my thing
Christian,
here?
how was the race? How was the 300-mile more race? Did you have a good time?
It was a lot of fun. I think Cody from Moore and all his volunteers, they put together a hell of a series, and it kind of has a reputation of not a lot of big guys show up, but I can tell you I raced 2 more races, and the courses are some of the most fun courses I've ever done. I ran a lot of the King of the Hammers course, actually, so it was a really good test for that race. So
Now, did you drive it as hard as you would if the other guys were there, or did you just put miles on it?
I think I just wanted to get a consistent pace and stick to that no matter what happened, and run about 85-90% the entire race. So
That's fast.
We wanted to push the limits a little bit, but we didn't want to risk tearing the truck up completely.
Yeah.
Where's it going next? What's next for you guys?
You got to ask Beerman that. It's always, especially after Silver State, it's race to race. Would have loved to have done the 500, but maybe we'll try and put together something for the 400, 5,000.
Right on.
Pop's gonna get back in and drive it to any at all?
I don't
I
know.
sure hope so.
We're nagging him to. I think he doesn't have a lot of belief in himself, but I mean his
Last
resume speaks for itself. So
Last time we raced at Geyser, we finished in the top 5 in it. I mean, that was just 2 years ago. I mean, not even 2 years ago, a year and a half ago.
I mean he can do it. He's a Baja 1000 winner. So not very many people have done that.
And nobody's ever won it in a limited car besides him and his partner. That's a pretty good stat. Hey, you guys, thank you so much for tuning into Fishgistics. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Remember, it's just opinion. You guys have to make your own decisions out there. Be smart on the highway. Be smart on the racetrack. Think about what you're doing. Expect the unexpected. And just have a good time. Remember, racing is supposed to be fun. Don't get too crazy out there. I want to thank Christian Serapis for dropping by, saying congratulations once again for your win recently. Josh, I'm stoked to hear that you'll be doing some racing with us at Vegas to Reno, and hopefully see you back at the 1,000. No Baja 500 though for you.
No Baja 500.
Right on. And it's good to see you. And for me, I'm looking forward to getting the Baja 500 because we haven't had the greatest start to the season after winning the last 2 races last year. Granted, we ran in the top 5 at the T1 and we finished in the top 6 at San Felipe, but we really feel great now about the changes that Mike Kraft, our race engineer, has been working on with the truck. So I'm super excited about it. Everybody be safe out there. Have fun. Thanks for tuning in to Fishgistics. And we'll see you next time when we come to you with the post-Baja 500. Fishgistics will be, I'm sure, full of guests, full of fun, a little bit of chaos, and we'll bring it to you winging it style. Like always. See you guys later. That's it from Fishgistics and Baja HQ. Come down here and buy some stuff. Come on. Keep the doors open for us.